I love video games. Yeah, sure you know that. But some games you play by yourself. They are single-player experiences. Other games you play with multiplayer, as they are multiplayer experiences. Other games you could play by yourself. You have the option to play with friends. Sometimes it's just as fun to play with friends. Sometimes it's not as fun to play with friends. Other times it's even more fun to play with friends. And even maybe a lot better and pretty much designed around playing with friends. Hey guys, it's DPX. Welcome to my top 10 games that are better with friends. In this list, I'll be counting down the best games that, I feel are better when you play with friends, but they have to have a single player option. It can't be multiplayer only, and I'm also talking about couch co-op or couch multiplayer. And I'm not going to include stuff like Mario Kart or Smash Brothers, because I feel like they can be just as fun by yourself as they are with friends. That's just my opinion though. And I want to hear your opinion. So yeah, before we get started though, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications, and leave a comment, and you'll be a loyal subscriber.
I wanted to give to you, the last part of your notes here, the significance spiritually of the number 10.
We start the list with a game I kinda actually ironically like, and is somewhat a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm of course talking about the Trials games, my favorite being Trials Fusion, but we'll throw the whole franchise on there because they're all very similar. You know the series that started with the 2000 game to Trials Rising. I find this game series to be pretty boring when you play by yourself. However, you'll get a lot more enjoyment when playing with a buddy, especially when you bail. Ironic enjoyment, but enjoyment. I remember watching Nintendo's recent E3 Direct where they showed a trailer for the Resident Evil ports that are already out. I remember saying as a joke, how funny would it be if they were to announce ports for the two worst Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6. And look what they did next. However, I remember then hearing other people's thoughts, and it seems that people are a bit mixed on Resident Evil 5. But the one thing I'm sure we can all agree on is that the co-op is a lot of fun. And Resident Evil 6 sucks. The co-op was actually one of the better aspects of the game, as you can play the whole game that way, and it was even built with co-op in mind. The only reason why RE5 isn't higher on the list is because of the split screen. It's pretty weird.
So I'm going to be giving this flavor 8.5 out of 10 scoops.
The Nintendo Switch didn't really launch with many physical exclusives. You got 1-2 Switch, Super Bomberman R, and Breath of the Freaking Wild. However, one eShop launch title that was totally worth it was Snipper Clips. Snipper Clips is this sort of co-op game where you snip each other into different shapes, as well as do stuff like fight, play basketball, play hockey, and more. And I say kind of co-op game because it could be played by yourself, just means a lot more fun in co-op. This is an adorable little game that came pretty close to the Switch's launch, and one game you should still have. But I don't have it. This is just my friend's gameplay.
36.
Very close, but that's not it. Let's go to Gary the Retard. What number between 2 and 4?
7.
Okay, one thing I just noticed is that there are a lot of underrated and overlooked games on this list. One of them being Broforce. Broforce is a game where basically the fun is with the co-op. You just blast a bunch of stuff, and it's really fun. It's almost like a platformer, zoomed out a bit. It's also really cool how you can choose many pop culture characters like Rambo, the Terminator, Snake, Policekin, Judge Dredd, Predator, RoboCop, and a lot more. They even have little puns in their names like Rambro and Brobocop and Bromando. The game is good.
Okay, Mrs. Puff, what's my final score?
6.
Woo!
Here's another game I'd like to call, ready for it?
A hidden gem.
Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time is another game where co-op is leagues better than playing by yourself. In this game, you and whoever you're playing with controls a ship. There are different things you can control. It's up to 4 players, so if you do that, one player can control the ship and where it goes, another player controls the shield, and the other players control the guns, in which there are a lot of all over the ship. It's easier with 4 players, but with 2 players, good luck.
Oh, chills. Literal chills.
It was number 5. Number 5 is my brother.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Last game I'd call a hidden gem, I promise. Ever wanted a game similar to Smash, but instead of trying to KO your opponent, you try to throw your opponent off the stage? I mean, that's sort of what you try to do, but like, that's all you can really do. You get a game like Gang Beasts. Oh my god, is this game fun. You play as these things in which you can customize however you'd like, and you just try to throw each other off the stage. I know I summed that up pretty quickly, and it might not sound interesting that way, but trust me, it gets really competitive. This game sort of just went under the radar as the game didn't quite review as well as it kind of deserved to. It's fun nonetheless. It's also only $20, so you can probably easily pick it up. And if that's not enough, the developer behind Psychonauts and Grim Fandango developed this game. Yep, Double Fine. They made a fine game.
7, 5. Number 4.
Now imagine Gang Beasts, but instead of throwing people off the stage, you have to cook and send meals at a fast rate. You get the Overcooked games. Man, these games are hard and rely on cooperation and teamwork. Pretty much, you have to cut up certain foods, put some on a stove, pot, or grill, and send them out. However, with the amount of dishes that need to be washed, fires that need to be put out, and just how fast orders are being made, this is practically made for co-op. Oh yeah, and the stage splits in half, so that's great. So, clicking on this video, I'm sure a few games came to mind, like any Mario Party game. Close cheating bump, including every Mario Party game on this list. Well, maybe except for the ones where you're in a stupid car. Mario Party games are mostly looked at as boring, and that's just when you play by yourself. With friends, it's an absolute blast. All the mini games are great, and the cast of characters is a nice one for your buddies. You'll have a lot of fun playing the games that ruin friendships, though. So, yeah, you'll never see them again.
What kind of pencil do we take again?
Number 2. Take a number 2.
Looks like you took a big number 2.
What happens when you take soccer and racing and put them in a video game together? You get Rocket League. Now, I honestly suck at this game, but that shows that this game requires skill. The main mode, soccer, you're basically playing soccer, but as cars with a giant soccer ball. There's also basketball, where you drive around trying to hit a giant basketball into a hoop, and there's also hockey, where you drive around hitting a giant hockey puck into the net. Not to mention how competitive this game gets, and you have a game that gets number 2 on my list. Well, why not number 1? Well, before we get to that one, let's look at some honorable mentions. Wii Sports. Just Wii Sports. What other game can you say your entire family played together? What other game can you say your grandparents played with you? What other game can you say that? I really don't think you can say that with anything else other than Wii Sports. Wii Sports is like the definitive local multiplayer game, in my opinion. There's boxing, tennis, baseball, bowling, and golf, and it's all a lot of fun. It can get really competitive too, and also worth a lot of memes as well. Me, anyone? There's not much more to say, just Wii Sports. So that'll be it for this video. Do you agree with my list? Let me know in the comments below. If you should like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.